Hey guys, how you doing today? I am Pam, and if this is the first time you're coming to the channel, welcome. Welcome to the Pam FAM. You saw the title, and I know you saw the thumbnail. You know what we're talking about here today. We're talking about Dossier fragrances. So if you're interested in hearing what I have to say, please stay tuned. I really like the bottle because it would look great on the vanity of a woman or a man. Got a wide area for you to make different parts, so you can part it on either side. That looks really good. You can wear it in a side ponytail as well. Fruitier, much more sweeter. Very sweet woodsy. It's sweet, it is fruity a little bit, but I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with Madawi. Welcome back. Thanks so much for sticking with me. You stayed here, you didn't go anywhere, you pressed on the button, and you're trusting me to entertain you. Thank you. I really appreciate that you took a little bit of time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me today. So guys, if this is your first time coming over here and you've never seen me before, what I do is I talk about fragrances. I talk about luxury fragrance, I talk about luxury makeup, I do a little bit of get ready with me as well. So if that's kind of your vibe, if you like that type of stuff, please consider subscribing to the channel, okay? New subscribers, thank you so very much. Thanks so much for trusting me. Old subscribers, whether you were subscribed last week, last month, last year, I don't care. I am just really happy you are here with me, okay? So thank you so very much. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you saw the thumbnail and you saw the title, so you know what we're talking about today. We are talking about Dossier fragrances all over again. Yes, it's a collaborative effort between Dossier Fragrances and I. Dossier has provided me with 2 more bottles so that I can give you guys my thoughts on these fragrances. I will do my best to be as succinct as possible, but
I might ramble. I'm just giving you fair warning.
So, if you don't know what Dossier Fragrances is about, or you've never heard of them before, Dossier Fragrances is basically a company that wants to give you fragrances at a fraction of a cost. So they utilize fragrances from niche houses and fragrances from designer houses that they are inspired by, and then they try to create those fragrances to get them between 60 to maybe 99% close, you know, so that you would, you know, basically get those fragrances at a fraction of a cost. Yes. So instead of you paying $200 for a bottle of fragrance, you may be paying, you know, $39. And, you know, I mean, who wouldn't want to save some money? You know, in addition to that, what Dossier does is that they create fragrances that are cruelty-free. Yes, you heard me. Cruelty-free. So they don't use anything that's going to harm animals or anything like that in the way they process to get these fragrances out to you. They try their best to use sustainable resources and cruelty-free practices so that they can get these fragrances to you. Now, there's one more thing. Dossier will also allow you to try fragrances. You know, you try it, you don't like it, and when you send it back, it's no cost to you. So some of the fragrances will have samples in it. You just use the little sample, and then if you like it, you keep the sample, the full bottle. If you don't like it, you know, you send it back, right? Unopened, of course. I have quite a few fragrances that I've done with Dossier, so I will put some of those videos, you know, the link up here and then also down in the description bar. And I also have a discount code, so you will get a percentage off if you use the link that's in my description. The first thing I want to do is show you the packaging. The packaging for this here is a really simple cardboard box. The interior is a really pretty orange. I happen to like orange. It's my favorite color. So it comes with a sample. What you would do is you'd use the sample like I mentioned before, and if you like the fragrance, then you keep the bottle. If you don't like the fragrance, you can send the fragrance back with no questions asked. So Citrus Tea is inspired by LABO The NOIR, the Noir 29. It's an eau de parfum. Top notes are bergamot, fig, black tea. Middle notes are bay leaf, tobacco, jasmine, and vetiver. And then the base notes are cedarwood, musk, hay, peach, and incense. So right off the bat, whenever I hear incense in a fragrance, whether it's in the middle or whether it's in the end, I always expect some sort of oudiness, you know. And then sometimes incense gives me like a church vibe, you know. When you go to church, you know how they have the incense and they're like moving the incense back and forth. Or if you burn incense, I always expect that kind of vibe, you know, like a chill vibe with it. Now, I have used this one before, and I wore it for 3 days in a row. What I did is I wore it to go to sleep, wake up the next morning to see if it was still on my arm, you know, did my daily get ready, wash, take a shower, all that good stuff. And then I sniff my arm, and if I could still smell the fragrance, then I think it has decent longevity, right? Because normally when you're sleeping, fragrance rubs off on you. On this one, which is really odd, because a lot of the LABO inspired fragrances by Dossier that I have tried before, I was not really feeling them at all. This one, however, I'm actually really liking. I don't know, citrus tea. It could be the incense. It could be the citrus notes. It could be the wood. It could be the vetiver. But I actually really do like this one. It reminds me just a teeny bit. Just a teeny bit. Just a teeny weeny bit. It reminds me a teeny weeny bit of some other stuff that I have in my collection. And I think that's probably why, because I really like those fragrances that smell like that. So this is reminding me of that. It has some, grounding, a little bit of dirtiness to it, not dirty in a negative way, of course, but it's giving me that vibe. It's reminiscent of other fragrances in my collection that I actually like. So I think that familiarity is also getting to me with this fragrance. But longevity, if you were to measure longevity out of 1 through 5, I would give it like a 3.5, 4 for longevity, because even though I could smell it the next morning, I still had to sniff really, deeply to get that vibe. It does give me a sweet note. I get sweetness with it. I do get from the vetiver, I do get that earthiness, like I was mentioning earlier, sort of like a dirty grounding. I get that as well. I do smell the citrus note. I smell it all. Some of my other Dossier fragrances to me smells better on my skin than the original fragrances themselves. Like Tom Ford's F Fabulous. I prefer Dossier's version of that, right? So, take that for what it's worth. Again, this is Dossier's Citrus Tea, and it is inspired by the Noir 29 by the House of LABO. My dears, if you are finding value in this content, please hit that like button as well as the subscribe button. It lets me know that you like the content. Also, make sure that you comment down below. So like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're liking what I'm giving you so far, okay? Next Dossier fragrance that I have is Oriental Vetiver. It's inspired by BYREDO BAL d'Afrique. Guys, that's a tall order. I had a sample of Bal d'Afrique, and that sounded funny. Bal d'Afrique, she's freaky. She's freaky, yeah. Anyways, I had a sample of that fragrance, and I actually really liked it. But again, I wasn't being pulled to purchase a full bottle. I just wasn't. It was nice, but it wasn't something that I have to have that BYREDO. It just wasn't that for me. So when I had the opportunity to try Dossier's Oriental Vetiver, because they said it's like the Bal d'Afrique by BYREDO, of course, I'm going to try it. All right, so this one did not come with a sample, so I actually had to spray the full bottle, right? So I used this as well for 3 nights. I did all my dossiers that I got this time around. I wanted to make sure that I give it a good go before I came on and did any taping. So this one I wore it for 3 nights, and I wore it to bed. I woke up the next morning and I was really, a little perplexed, okay? And I'll tell you why in a second. Let's get into the notes first. The notes on Oriental Vetiver, the top notes is bergamot, lemon, and buchu. That's a tea. The middle notes is orange blossom, marigold, and violet. And the base notes are vetiver, amber, and cedarwood. Now, I actually like wood in my fragrances. I like cedarwood. I like sandalwood. I'm liking vetiver a little bit, as long as it's not too heavy in there. So I do like vetiver. I do like vetiver. This here, I actually had a sample of Bal d'Afrique. Okay, she's a freak. A super freak. She's super freaking. Yeah. I really don't know where that came from, but it felt good to do though. Okay, so Oriental Vetiver. It smells sweet. It smells good when I put it on, when I sprayed it on, right? So let me spray some on right now. Gosh, I love these bottles. I keep talking about the magnetic cap. I really love the packaging of Dossier fragrances. I really, really do. Looks like an apothecary, And And I'm getting that same vibe already that I got when I first sprayed it on. When I tested the original Bal the Freak by BYREDO, I first sprayed it, I wasn't smelling anything. I really wasn't. So I'm like, you know, not thinking much of it. It smells clean, it smells fresh, but not heavy, you know, just like light air. You know, going about my business throughout the day, what I noticed is that I was getting a whiff of something, but I didn't know what I was whiffing. I didn't realize until later it was actually the Bal the Freak. So the way it transformed on my skin, it seeped into my pores, and then what it does is it just kind of wafts. It gives you like, you get like, it does this, like not a crescendo, but mostly like this. You smell it, you don't. You smell it, you don't. You smell it, you don't, kind of thing. You know, that's what I was getting with the Bal the Freak. But most of the times I wasn't really smelling it in my face like I am smelling this fragrance. It wasn't like that. And I didn't spray a lot because I only got a small, you know, I think it was like a 2 milliliter sample or something like that. That was some time ago. So then I got the opportunity. I saw that Dossier had this and I got the opportunity. I asked for it. They sent it to me and I wore this just like the others 3 nights in a row. Went to sleep with it. First I sprayed it and I was feeling like, what I actually got initially was a burst of freshness similar to the BYREDO that I can recall, but I smelled the orange blossom, I smelled the vetiver, and I actually did smell the wood, right? And that's like the middle and the base notes. The top, I was, you know, kind of sort of smelling it, but I was smelling mostly some of the elements of the middle and the base notes. And I wasn't mad at it. So I went to sleep, woke up the next day, and I was getting whiffs of it, but it wasn't very strong. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't very strong. Just gently. The first night, just gently. So the second night, I remember spraying more. I sprayed about 8 sprays. I sprayed it up and down my arm, 8 sprays. And then I went to bed, woke up the next morning. Again, that lightness. But the funny thing is, the third night when I went back to bed, I could smell this on my sheets. I could smell the Oriental Vetiver on my sheets and it was comforting. It wasn't like harsh, it wasn't screechy, it wasn't like I gotta put these sheets in the laundry, none of that stuff. So you do get that cleanness to it. Now, again, it's not really a fragrance that I would say that somebody that likes really sweet or really gourmand fragrances or anything. I think this is a fragrance, Oriental Vetiver is probably more suited to people who like fresh fragrances, more aquatic fragrances, ozonic fragrances, a little salty fragrances, a little earthy fragrances. I think that Oriental Vetiver would be what you would like. You might like it. I'm not saying you will. You might like it. In addition to that, the fact that it stays on your skin or it transfers, if you spray it on your clothes, it transfers to your clothes and it stays on there. I think that's a plus, right? I think that's a plus. How I would use this fragrance, if I were to use this fragrance on a regular basis, I would use it if I know I'm going to the gym. I would use it in hot weather. And I definitely, if I'm a healthcare provider, like dealing with patients, if you are a healthcare provider dealing with patients, it's a fragrance that's not going to be offensive because it's that light. So it's not going to be offensive to people that's around you. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to compete with other fragrances. If you go out on a date and your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whomever, you know, they're wearing something really, really nice, your fragrance is not going to compete with them if you're wearing Oriental Vetiver. It does have the orange blossom in it that gives it that nice sweetness and it lifts it up, but it's not so orange blossom heavy that it's going to be a gourmand lover's dream. Nothing like that. This is Oriental Vetiver, which is inspired by the BYREDO's fragrance Bal the Freak. As I mentioned before, if you're getting value out of this video or videos like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and like my videos. And please, when you hit the subscribe button, please don't forget to hit the notification bell, the one that says all. Towards the end of the video, you will see some end cards popping up. What that will do is take you to a specific video or a playlist. I have like over 250 videos, you know, so I got a lot of information out there for you to take a look at. In addition to that, you'll see some artwork on the screen. It's my daughter's artwork. When you click on that, it'll take you directly to my channel where you can subscribe and watch more videos. So again, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate the fact that you're spending time with me. and listening to me talk about Dossier fragrances. If you own Dossier fragrances, I would specifically like to hear from you what your thoughts are on these fragrances, whether you like them, whether you don't, what are your favorites. You know, communicate with me down in the comment section so I can know that people are actually liking the videos, one, and also that they too like Dossier fragrances, because I think that sometimes we get a little scared to say that we like fragrances that are inspired and stuff like that. And you know, down in the comments we can actually have a conversation about it. Now don't forget to hit one of those end cards, my dears, and don't forget to hit that artwork so you can watch more videos. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.